I'm sure you saw a bunch of videos claiming that in 2025, AI and AI agents will absolutely change the way we do business. It will allow you to automate all the things within your business. It will basically replace all of your workers, and you'll be able to be in a spot where you just tell the AI what you need to do, or you don't even need to tell it. It'll just figure out what to do on its own, and it'll be able to do that flawlessly. Well, that might be true. I've actually helped over 50 businesses implement automation solutions and AI solutions within their business. And in this video, I'll show you a full guide on what is actually required to implement AI in your business to get a good outcome and an ROI on your time, effort, and the investment needed to actually implement it. So all the way from how do you need to structure your process, to how do you need to structure your data, to how you can get AI outputs to be production ready and ready to show to clients where you can use them and actually they can be useful within your company. There's two pieces of the equation when it comes to AI and what helps AI generate good output, meaning how helpful can it be for you within your business. One piece of the equation is how defined is the output that we're trying to generate with AI, right? So how specific is the job we're asking it to do? What is the desired format of that output that we're trying it to do? And do we have any good examples of here's a good example and here's a bad example that we can feed the model as examples on what to do, what not to do? So, right, that's one big component of AI. The second big component is going to be how structured is your database and what is the access of the AI model to that database. What I mean by that, over time, as you're going to be using AI, you ideally want to be in a position where the AI can sort of self-learn and self-regulate as it's generating output and storing that output in a database. What I mean by that is, let's say you're trying to have AI build creative briefs for websites, right? So every single new creative brief that it generates, you want to have some sort of a learning model implemented in your workflow. So every single output that it gives you, you can grade it, give it comments, what it did well, what it did poorly, and then every single next time that it generates a new brief, it takes that into account and you start to generate this self-learning mechanism, right? So the two equations of AI that we need to crack if you want to be able to successfully implement it in your business is defining the process and output well enough and then feeding it the data so it can perpetually learn on its own. So the first step that you're going to need to do if you want to be able to define an output well is, even now moving AI out of the equation and moving automation out of the equation, you want to be in a spot where you can define every single step and every single output within your company that you can then understand yourself. You can make sure other people understand it. And really the best way to do this is to do some sort of a process map, right? So we call it a company brain. But basically what I'm trying to have you do is define what are each individual steps in the process of us delivering our service or product, and understanding how does each output of that each individual step look like, so we can precisely define what are we trying to do. What that will allow us to do is, instead of asking AI too much and going with a broad prompt or like a broad output that we're trying to generate, and going with something like, hey AI, can you generate me a good looking website? And then pressing enter and then being disappointed with the result you got generated. The better way to do this is, let's say we're trying to build a website, is trying to break down that website into smaller, more definite outputs in a way that a human would do it, right? So if we asked a human to do a website, the human might do initial research, and then they might create a creative brief, and then they might create wireframes, and then from that wireframes they create a low fidelity design, and then they confirm that with a client, and then they create the final designs, and then it goes into development, right? So there's different specific outputs and stages of creating a website. So we're going to be asking too much out of the AI if we just go ahead and say, hey, generate me a website. And then the AI is going to have to do its best job to guess what do you mean by a good website. A better way to approach this is to go and look at that individual output and define very precisely, what does good website research look like, right? So you go to AI and say, hey, here's an example of a website research that I did. Here's what I want you to generate, and here are the inputs and the information required for you to create this specific document. That is a way better chance of getting the AI to do actually something that's useful for you to move to the next step. And then once you crack that initial step, then you go to the next stage and say, all right, using this research, please create me a creative brief for a website. And here are examples of good creative briefs and what to look out for. And here's examples of bad creative briefs. That is now a way easier job for the AI to, again, create something that is useful. Just because AI can do something does not mean that it's necessarily useful. So breaking down your process into these kind of smaller, more manageable outputs and segments is going to give you a way better chance of actually getting AI to produce something that is useful. So now that you understand how you can splice up a process into smaller individual chunks that are more manageable for the AI to feed, now we get into the second part of the equation, which is kind of the more advanced one, which is implementing a database that the AI can read from and make decisions and learn from in perpetuity, right? So as AI is going to start to generate these specific outputs for your business, ideally you want to have a database where every individual output is being stored, and you have a manual part of the process where a human looks at that output and grades it from 1 to 10 and gives it notes and comments on what it did well, what it did poorly, and you start generating this knowledge bank of work that you like and work that you don't like. And once you give AI access to that data, then it becomes immensely powerful, because with every single new iteration and every single piece of feedback, just like a human, AI can get better at processing all that information and giving you more useful outputs. So if you use general project management tools, you might be able to do this if you're very disciplined in terms of how you store things. A better way to approach this would be to create a master database where you can store all of your client information, all of your project information, where you can automate the outputs going into that database and then being linked to clients specifically. If you can add on a reporting layer to that, right, where a specific output is also linked to KPIs of specific marketing campaigns or whatever the KPIs are that you use in your business, that then becomes a very, very powerful tool to make the AI that you're going to use better every single day. And this second component, even though it's very advanced, I would strongly recommend there's plenty of YouTube tutorials that teach you how to do this. Set up a database where you can figure out how to store information about each individual client, each individual project, and then each individual output of the AI, and have that all be linked together, and then give access to that database to the AI so it can learn from it and get better and better with every single output. So now that we have defined a very specific output for the AI to do, and we also fed it data that we show the AI what we consider good work and what we consider bad work, the final step that you're going to need in order to get production-ready output is to involve a human in the loop. And this final stage is probably the most important one, because you never want, especially in the early stages of implementing this, having an AI output be directly shown to a client without anyone looking at it, right? So having the third final sort of QA, quality assurance stage, where a human looks at the output, grades it, gives it a rating from 1 to 10 or from 1 to 5, and gives it notes on what you liked and what you didn't like, this creates that sort of self-feeding loop and flywheel of the AI system learning. Also, what it does, it protects you as the business owner or department leader to make sure that any of the outputs that you created with AI actually are good, because a human looked at them and graded them by what they consider to be good. Right? So that's that final layer of QA that you actually need to make sure to push it forward. Now, there's going to be plenty of tools that you can use to do this, from Make.com to N8N to using tools like Airtable to do all of this. But the best way to start off is with the process itself. And if you want to figure out how you can define a process in your business, you can watch this next video.